convention is not moving forward, and it's because of the public health risk that it poses.
The Texas Republican Convention, scheduled to be in Houston next week, canceled at Mayor Turner's request. That convention was expected to bring about 6,000 delegates to the city. Adam Bennett shows us why the mayor has decided to act now.
Mayor Sylvester Turner said that other conventions had either canceled or postponed voluntarily, and he hoped that's what would happen here. He worried that a forced cancellation would appear political, but he said the tipping point came last night. That's when the city's public health authority called this large indoor gathering a, quote, clear and present danger. Houston First runs the convention center. Around 3 this afternoon, its CEO and board chair sent this letter to Republican Party of Texas leadership, informing them of the cancellation. They pointed to the, quote, unprecedented scope and severity of the COVID-19 epidemic in Houston. They said the science shows holding a large indoor event poses significant risk.
The linchpin for me is when one of the people on my staff, combined with my sister, who said to me, Mayor, brother, your mom was a maid working at these hotels. And if your mom was alive today, working at one of these hotels, would you as the mayor still allow this convention to go forth?
Earlier today, Republican Party of Texas Chairman James Dickey put out a statement after Mayor Turner told City Council he was attempting to cancel the event. Dickey said the party had already implemented many of the mayor's safety demands.
This convention is vital, constitutionally protected part of the electoral process. We are going to exercise our rights to peaceably assemble, to petition our government for redress of grievances, just as thousands, tens of thousands of protesters did 3 weeks ago in the very same city.
Dickey said his party is now weighing their legal options. Back to you.